Tell me, have you ever been in a situation where the best thing you can do?
A few moments later.
Jackaroo. Okay, make this make sense. So I have a 4 and a 5-year-old and a newborn, one baby daddy. My 4 and a 5-year-old were at home, and I was in the hospital with my newborn baby. So when my baby daddy picked me up, he had his girlfriend in the car. Did I know he had a girlfriend? Yes. We co-parent with our 4 and a 5-year-old. So on Mondays, he drops the kids off. On Mondays, he picks the kids up. He usually comes inside on Mondays and plays with his kids or packs their stuff or bathes, whatever he tells her that he's doing, while she sits outside. Jackaroo. Anyway, so while she sits outside for about 45 minutes. Now, on one of those Mondays, Jackaroo was conceived. And then we had Jackaroo. He was still living with his girlfriend, but we had Jackaroo. So, yeah.
Well, this is pretty common, guys. And she got a follow-up clip that I'm going to play here. But this is some nasty work right here, where a woman will deal with the guy. The guy is completely moved on, married, or even got a girlfriend, and he's still putting babies in her, and she has no problem. And I've known women personally that's been in this situation that the baby daddy, he's living with a whole different woman. The woman's helping take care of the kids that he has with the baby mama, and he's taking her car and still driving over and clapping the cheeks and squirting and all this other stuff. And women will proudly do this. And a lot of y'all will say, as y'all noticed, that was a white woman, and he was driving the car. The white woman was in the passenger seat. Y'all will say it couldn't be me. They always get with them white girls. Them white girls let them do that deal with these pookies. But a lot of y'all sisters be on that type of time too. Y'all know what's going on. Same thing, Jody and baby boy with Peanut and Yvette. He's still clapping Peanut and going back and getting Yvette pregnant. It goes on all the time. Hey, but ladies like this type of talk. GR, why are you always saying women like this type of... They do. And she's telling this story. This is some crazy co-parenting going on, but she likes it because she gets something out of it. But let's get into the follow-up clip, guys. Let's go.
Story time on how I ended up with 3 kids by a man who lived with his girlfriend. I met my baby daddy 11 years ago. 11 years ago, he did not live with his girlfriend. I went to prison back in 2018. At that time, we were together. While I was in prison, on a certain site, if you know what Backpage is, he met his girlfriend. So as soon as I came home from prison, I ended up getting pregnant with my first son, who's now 5 years old. When I was about 4 months pregnant, I found out about who we now call sister wife. Happens to be that she was pregnant too, and she decided to get an abortion. When my son was born, me and my baby daddy were together like normal. Sierra was not a part of the picture. There was no infidelity issues, but our relationship wasn't perfect. We had other issues. So we broke up. Every time we broke up, he would go right to Sierra's house and she would be waiting on him hand and foot. We ended up getting back together because I was pregnant with our second child, which is now 4 years old, and her name is Josiah. Once again, we're living together, we're in a relationship, Sierra is not in the picture, and we have 2 kids. Now we start arguing, and you know what happens. I tell him he gotta go. Where does he go? Right to Sierra's house. So at some point, me and my baby daddy are still communicating. We have 2 small children together. And I kind of feel like he's not all in, not all invested. So I get to doing my little FBI little research, and I find out that he called himself moving into Sister Wife's house. So he would be at Sister Wife's house Monday through Friday telling me he was at a friend's house for work, and he would come over on the weekends and be with his kids. As soon as I found out that he was living at Sister Wife's house, I got in my car and I drove over there, knocked on her door. She packed up his things. I put them in the car and I took my baby daddy back home. And once again, we was together. Just to keep a long story short, that happened like maybe 3 or 4 times. I literally drove to sister's wife's house, picked up my baby daddy, and he left her. And we continued on our relationship. He only goes over there after we break up. So no, he's not cheating on me. But she's always lingering in the sidelines, like waiting for us to break up. So then it comes to my attention that my baby daddy is battling some bigger demons. That'll be his story to tell. So our final argument, which is a story time on its own, was really bad, and we ended up going our separate ways once again.
Sounds about right. Sounds like the usual Pookie story. Going back and forth between a couple women needing a place to stay. He stays with you. Y'all get in an argument. He goes back, stays with her, and women are perfectly fine accepting this. Goes on a lot. She was in prison, back page, all the usual suspects in this story. And she quickly had 3 kids within a matter of, 5 years? And she calls her sister wife, so she's making a whole joke out of this. This goes on for years and probably will continue to go on for another 20 years. Because he knows he's got it like that. She knows where he's going to be at. She goes and picks him up. This happens all the time. What a life to have. All cheeks are getting clapped, unprotected. Y'all sharing the same D. So it might as well be sister wives. It's a poly relationship. But let's finish out the clip, guys. Let's go.
So now fast forward and we're not together and a year goes by and I don't know, we decide that we're going to start communicating again. When we start communicating, he informs me that he's, living with Sierra and that they're in a relationship and he wants to explore that and see how it goes. And I'm like, all right, cool. You can do that. I don't think that our relationship, is like we still had things we needed to work on. So I don't think we should go back to that either. But we should definitely work on our communication. And so that's what we do. And then you guys see the whole theory was born. Let me ask my baby daddy's girlfriend, does she want to be in a poly relationship? So of course she says no. She doesn't want to be in a poly relationship. She thinks she's enough woman for my baby daddy on her own. And I'm like, oh, okay then. So I'm not going to let that stop me from, talking to my own baby daddy. So I continue on with my relationship with my baby daddy. He's continuing to live with sister wife because that's what's working out for us. And we exchange the kids on Mondays. So on Mondays, he usually would come inside and play with his kids while sister wife would sit outside in the car about 45 minutes. And after a couple of Mondays, your girl ended up pregnant. I let him know that I was pregnant and he decided, okay, I'm going to pack my things and I'm going to move back in. When he did this, some of the old problems we were having were still there. And of course, we ended up in an argument, which ended up in a domestic dispute, which ended up with him going to jail. Again, that's a whole nother story time on its own. Sister wife bonded him out of jail, and then we weren't talking for a while. We actually ended up linking up on his birthday, and we both ended up in jail again. That's another story time on its own. Anywho, fast forward to now I'm having the baby. He still lived with sister wife my entire pregnancy. I actually moved down south, which was 4 hours away from him, and that's where I ended up having the baby. He did make it to the birth of his son. He cut his umbilical cord. He stayed the first night till like 5 o'clock in the morning. During the time that he was in there, birth, labor, and him spending time with his son, sister wife was downstairs sitting in the damn car. Anyway, so like I said, he leaves at 5 o'clock in the morning. Don't see him the next day. Then, damn, I can't open this shit. He comes back the day that we're discharged to sign his son's birth certificate. He's running mad late because he says he keeps arguing with Sierra. He pulls up and I'm like, yo, you got to take me home from here. And he's like, what you mean I got to take you home? I didn't know I had to take you home. I was like, well, I figured you was going to want to see your baby meet the other 2 kids for the first time. So I thought it wouldn't be an issue for you to take me home. And at this point, he's like, oh, well, Sierra's in the car. And I'm like, what? Like, why is she even here? And so that is what led up to the video that you guys see. I hope that this video answers a lot of your questions. If it doesn't, leave some questions in the comments and I will answer them, you guys. But I love you guys. And OG Nana gang, I love y'all.
Damn, OG Nana. That's crazy. You got this going on. So basically, out of all this, Pookie is undefeated. Fellas, that's another reason to become a Pookie, right? You'll have women that'll never let you go, women that'll take care of you, women that'll bond you out of jail, and you just keep putting babies in them at the end of the day. That's wild to me. I don't really have much else to say. Let me know what you guys think about the video, though. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next video that's going to pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm going to see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. Listen up. I'm the best. Let's run it up to 1 million. Quit playing with me. Peace.